9 minutes. Minus 8 minutes. Minus 7 minutes. Minus 6 minutes. Minus 5 minutes. Stand by.
How about that?
Eyes down, here we go. Welcome to a Football Friday, everybody. It's the RP Show. Very big Friday. Very big week in the Canadian Football League. It's the biggest week of the year. And coming up in moments, Kevin the Medium will be joining us live from the 112th Grey Cup festivities in Winnipeg, Manitoba. The usual Friday cast is here. We got Jim Barker coming up in hour two, the five-time Grey Cup champion. I'm not sure where he's joining us from. I guess we'll find out. I don't know if he went to Grey Cup or not. And Darren Moose DuPont will be joining us. He'll be previewing the Mitchell Bowl and various things in the Grey Cup and Week 11 in the NFL. Okay, Kevin the Medium is here from the Grey Cup and the Hughes Sports Podcast where they were broadcasting live. I watched, Kev. I watched, as you know. How you doing, sir?
I am doing great. I found a little quiet room in the basement, I guess you can call it, of Princess Auto Stadium, somewhere I could actually hear myself think. Things are happening here. They got the music cranked up as the Alouettes are just finishing up their practice for the morning.
Ba, 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 ba. It's on, baby. It's on. Grey Cup 112 is on, okay? So, yeah, we said that we're live from the Grey Cup. That is you, Kev. So here in the warm-up, it's Football Friday. It's Grey Cup week. I'm just going to tell everybody it's 2 hours of football and mostly CFL variety. And what's lovely about live daytime television, we could talk about last night's awards, but that's so last night. You were just at the Commissioner's State of the League address, Stuart Johnston of the Canadian Football League. So, Kev, tell us what the Commissioner had to say. Hotly anticipated news conference today from Stu Joe.
It was one of the, I was the one event I was really looking forward to and hearing from Stuart Johnson. His address was what you expected. Everything's great. Everything's literally rainbows and unicorns. And then the questions started from the press. Now, this is the first year in a long time that they didn't have just fans come in. It was just the press. And there were some tough questions he had to answer from you've been in your position for X amount of months. How dare you change the rules to why did you change the rules to, and there was obviously a lot of questions on the rules. And I thought he handled them quite good. One thing I was very happy for him to actually come out and say, right at the very, very beginning, the first question was from Three Down Nation. And he guaranteed during his tenure, there will never be a change to the three down rule. I loved it. And that made my heart skip a beat. So there's something he didn't say when he made this announcement. And he said, there is no guarantees in life. Well, now he's saying, well, I guess there is some guarantees.
Yeah, he said he misspoke when he was asked about it a month ago or whatever. Hey, listen, I'm following it too. And wonderful report, Kev, by the way. Kevin the Medium with us from the Hughes Sports Podcast, broadcasting live from Grey Cup here on the RP Show on Game Plus Television. We're just so excited to get it all out of the way. I saw some of the highlights. TV ratings are up 1%. Revenue is up 5%. Everything's up. Let's all celebrate. It's Grey Cup weekend. Let's party. Am I getting the vibe? Where was the bad news? Was there any bad news?
Well, not in his address, because that's what his address is about. I mean, if you're giving a state of the league address, you're not going to come on and say, oh, things suck and we're horrible. And that's not going to happen. The idea of a state of a league address is tell everybody how great the league is. And let's face it, revenue's up, viewership's up. They're working on a new TV deal. Everything is positive. So let's celebrate this beautiful league that we have. And I tell you, the last 2 days, we've been down to the convention center. We've been here at the stadium. It's a buzz here in Winnipeg. They're doing a fabulous job. It's going to be a busy next few days. It's fun to be sitting down in the bowels of Princess Auto Stadium and kind of seeing behind the scenes, everybody running around like chickens with no heads, but they all have their job and you can see they're all doing it. And it was great. They had a media day on Wednesday. That was, for me, one of the highlights, being able to just go and talk to, there was 12 players, 2 different sessions. Had a really good conversation with AJ Olette, Corey Mace. It was just a good day. It's been a good week.
All right. I love it, by the way. I'm smiling here because I'm thinking of all the various State of the League addresses that I covered. Like 23 Grey Cups I think I've been to. The Larry Smiths, the Randy Ambrosies, what I loved about them, and I did love them, former players, they wore their heart on their sleeve, those guys. And by the way, things weren't great with them. Larry Smith in the 90s, Randy Ambrosie just passed. Oh boy, guys, it's been hard. I'm not gonna lie. And then you got Mark Cohan, all primped and prepped and coiffed and right, had a manicure and a pedi. He's ready to go. And Stuart Johnston's maybe somewhere in the middle. I don't know. I don't believe all of what I hear here. Oh yeah, tell me whatever. The ratings are up. Whatever. We don't see them, so I'm not poo-pooing anything. But I'm glad to hear you say that it was that positive. And listen, we're coming up against it for the first break, and I really appreciate you, Kevin, the medium from the Hughes Sports Podcast, for joining us live. Is there any vibe about the game yet? That's the one thing I love about Grey Cup week. It's nothing about the game until like the morning up, usually.
Well, actually, with the media day on Wednesday, it was all about the game. It was because you're talking to the players, you're asking them questions, you're listening to their responses. And it was something both Jake and I picked up, the differences between the two teams. And not taking away anything from Saskatchewan and their camaraderie, but just the way the Montreal players talked, you can see they have whatever that thing is that you get in a dressing room when you get that real successful team. They have that. Every player you talk to, they talked about themselves a little bit, but they talked about the guy sitting next to them more. They want it for that guy. It's a team. You can really feel that team atmosphere. I'm sure Saskatchewan has it. It just wasn't as prevalent as it is in Montreal. Because let's face it, halfway through the season, not a lot of people gave Montreal a snowball's chance in heck of actually making it to this game, and they proved everybody wrong.
Yeah, well, I love it. Okay, so when we come back, we'll talk a little bit more of the matchup. Wonderful recap, Kevin, of the Commissioner's State of the League. And if anybody has more questions, you can write in, everybody. Jeff, the Stamps fan, writes in. He says, A++ for Stuart Johnston. When was the last time the CFL had strong communication and make such a deliberate announcement regarding the schedule? Oh, yeah, I saw that's coming out like December 9th or something like that. Pre-Christmas anyways. So that's good news. Yeah, I've been covering it all. You've done a great job, Kev. We'll continue the football discussion when we come right back. Plus some huge and rather not so great news out of the Western Hockey League. We do the WHL Junior Report every day for the Mad Greek. That's all coming up here in hour one. We will be right back, everybody. 902-518-3033 is the text line to get your questions and comments in. And we'll be right back here. We're live across Canada on Game Plus Television.
This is a test pattern. This is what happens when your video company screws up. You don't want your clients to see a screw up. Hire a company that only does video, so it won't screw up. Then, people who give you money will see less of these and more of you. Skycron.com/live.
Looking for a new ride without the big city pressure? Come to Western Dodge in Moose Jaw, where you'll find an unbeatable lineup of Ram trucks, Jeep SUVs, Dodge Muscle, and Chrysler family rides. With knowledgeable staff, great prices, and that friendly Moose Jaw touch, you'll drive away with confidence. Western Dodge. Big selection, small town service. Visit us today or browse online at westerndodge.ca.
Do you worry about how much someone drinks?
Do you feel angry or depressed most of the time? Do you feel neglected or unloved?
Do you feel that if the drinker loved you, she or he would stop drinking?
If you answered yes to any of these questions, you are not alone.
Not everyone trapped by alcohol is an alcoholic.
Families and friends are suffering too. Al-Anon and Alateen can help. Call 1-866-200-0223 or visit alanon.org/help.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with The Rod Pedersen Show. Talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more. There's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Pedersen Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with The Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Famoso, Italian pizzeria and bar. Taste, savor, share. Famoso, the spirit of Italian. Come in, enjoy.
You have a vision, a big idea, but how do you turn ambition into absolute impact? It starts with connection, booking top-tier speakers and executing seamless events. That's the EMJ difference. We position your brand where it belongs, through powerful advertising, strategic media, and promotion that drives results. At EMJ Marketing, we don't just promote, we partner. Your growth, our mission.
Okay, y'all, welcome back. Hour one. It's a Football Friday, brought to you in part by Suds Full Service Car Wash. Fuel your fleet's finesse with Suds Regina's unbeatable cleaning packages. They'll shine like new every time. Visit sudsregina.com. Big Rider fans down there at Suds Car Wash. They watch us every day. Hi, Kirby and staff. All right, Kev. It's funny because that opening segment here of the Quick Six Show Topics is just blah, just word vomit. It's just get everything out. And now, okay, woosah. Let's relax. You're there, Kevin the Medium at Grey Cup in Winnipeg from the Hughes Sports Podcast and the RP Show. Take me through your week, please. Looks like you're just having a blast.
We are. I mean, we got in with some idiot booked a flight at 7 o'clock on Wednesday morning. This idiot. So we're at the airport at 5 a.m. Wednesday morning, and we get into town 10 o'clock here in Winnipeg, and we have to go and get our hotel room. We have to go and get our credentials. Then we had to go to Media Day. And it was just nonstop from Media Day. They had actually the evening of that, the Wednesday evening, they had an availability for all the award winners down at the Radisson downtown Winnipeg. It was awesome. I was able to go in and have a 5-minute one-on-one with Curtis Rourke before he won both awards. And talk about the differences between two award nominees. You got Curtis Rourke,
Nathan Rourke.
Nathan Rourke, young, quiet, soft-spoken, very subdued. Then you have Bo Levi. And Bo Levi is anything but quiet. And just to see the two of them in different corners of the room, it just made me smile. Then I was able to have a nice 3-4 minute conversation with Matthew Betts before he won his defensive awards. So it's been a busy week. I'm not going to lie, the old body kind of starting to wear down on me. Of course, there was maybe a media party somewhere in between there that we're not allowed to talk about, but it was fun. It was a good time, and it's not slowing down. Like I say, we're at Princess Auto Stadium now. I believe Montreal's just come off the field. They're doing their media availability. My son Jake's over there for the Hughes Sports Podcast doing all kinds of interviews while I'm here. And then Saskatchewan takes the field. That one is a closed practice. We won't be able to watch that at all, but there will be media availability after that. And then it's back down to the convention center. And I think we're going to go to the CFLPA headquarters this afternoon to see if we can't have words with, love to have words with Solomon after their state of their union address this morning as well.
Kevin, the medium with us from Grey Cup, doing an outstanding job. It must have helped a little bit that you and I were together in Vancouver at Grey Cup, just lay of the land media-wise. We didn't hit anywhere near last year what you're doing here, but at least you kind of had an idea where to go, right?
Well, yeah, and it kind of, I was saying to Jake, boy, it would be really helpful to have Rod here. I won't go into the stories, but there is a story about me mixing up a name of a certain coach, ex-coach in the CFL. I had the story right of last year. I just had the wrong coach name. They will go down in the lores of the Winnipeg Grey Cup. But having you around last year was really cool because, let's face it, you've been doing this for 20 plus years. You know who, where, and how. Jake and I are new at this. We're still trying to figure out the who, where, and how, but we're having a blast. But I did learn from you. This is where I'm sitting in some kind of mechanical room, I'll call it. I think they have all kinds of maps of the whole Princess Auto Stadium off to my left. But I just kind of walked around and found a quiet room. I learned this from you. Just find a quiet room when you need it.
Unplug something. See what happens. That's something that I would do.
Yes, it would.
Yeah. John writes in from Vancouver. He says, shout out from Vancouver, BC, and congrats to all of the BC Lions CFL Award winners. Go BC. Well in, John. Thank you. From the text line, Sean in Vancouver, you know him, Kevin. He stopped you at the Riders Lions game a few weeks ago. He says, happy Football Friday, Rod and Kevin. Enjoy the game. Go Riders. Signed Sean in Vancouver. You know the Sean that I'm referring to. He's the one that
I do.
Stopped you on the concourse. Yeah, at BC Place. From Vintage Sasko, he writes in on the Western Dodge text line. He says, hey, Reverend Rodney and K-Dog. He goes, I'm amped to head into Winnipeg. I'm going to party as frick at the Free Sasky Rally Party tomorrow and then witness some history at Mosaic Stadium East Sunday. 2 claps and a Ric Flair. Woo! Thanks for your coverage of the CFL. I do want to say this. I don't know if I'll be at Grey Cup next year in Calgary or not. I'm enjoying your exuberance of this, but what I'm coming to the grips with the fact, Kev, that I am the old guard of the CFL, and that's fine, because now my phone's buzzing with all the other old guard, and we're talking about old games and memories. Avon Coburn wrote me on Facebook. He's like, go Als. You remember Avon Coburn, that little pain in the ass Alouettes running back. And this is what reminds me of fun Grey Cups of the past. 2010 Edmonton. He complained about his hotel in downtown Edmonton. I can't remember the name of it. It's that circular one. I want to say Chateau Champlain, but that's not it. That's Montreal. Whatever. That was the biggest story of the Grey Cup. Avon Coburn bitching about the hotel. Has there been any fun stories not related to the game come out yet, or do we have to wait till the weekend for that?
Well, I think we're going to have to wait to the weekend, and most of the stories that have come out so far, we're not going to talk about because they probably involve this guy at a certain press party that we just won't talk about.
Okay. Sure. Well, I don't know. Why is it such a big secret? We talked about it last year. You met Vernon Adams there, right? And Benavides and all those guys. Why is this such a... What the hell happened last night? I haven't heard.
Well, no, not last night. It was the night before. It was Wednesday night. It was a long day. I might have had a few beers. And yeah, we'll leave it at that.
Shout out Mike from Ice Time Sports. Michael went in Winnipeg. He says, missing Rod the legend in Winnipeg this week. Hey, you'll do just fine without me, no doubt. Jeff, the Stamps fan, says it's the Chateau Lacombe. Yeah, that's the one. It's circular. And I've stayed there before. I'm like, what's he bitching about? I never had a problem with the Chateau Lacombe, but that was just Avon Coburn, whatever. It's fun stuff. But I'll tell you something. Of the football people I've talked to, this is former Riders, former Alouettes like Coburn, or guys that were with other teams that don't really have a dog in this race, because they're calling me to talk about O'Shea going to the Argos or maybe the Ticats, whatever. The football guys, Kev, think the Alouettes are going to win. I'm just saying.
You know what? Jake and I talked about this last night on our podcast, and I think it's going to come down to who has the ball last. It's going to be that type of game. It wouldn't be a huge surprise to me if that team pulled it off, especially with Davis Alexander. That guy's got some swagger to him. I really enjoyed my conversation with him. people call it cocky. I didn't get cocky from him. I just got a lot of confidence and a whole bunch of swagger.
Well, that's good. You need that. As I was talking to an MMA fighter who says if you don't think you're going to win, you've already lost. So I get that vibe off Davis Alexander as well. And as you say, the riders are practicing right now or on the field. So I guess you haven't been around Trevor Harris, but I sit back and think about experience and so forth. And I can't let you go without bringing this up. You talked about how nice Nathan Rourke is and humble. He wasn't real nice when he was lipping off the Rider fans in the south end zone of the Western Final. You were on a plane back. Did you see that, Kev, or were you listening to it, or you know to what I'm referring?
I do. I was listening to it. Obviously, I was listening to the CKNW Lions broadcast on the radio coming back on an airplane, but I did see the highlights. I saw all the aftermath of it. If you're going to play in that position, whether you be a receiver or quarterback, I'm going to use those two positions. You got to have that type of swagger where, you got to be yelling and screaming, saying it's your time. Of course it is. All the stuff that happened after that game, all the stuff that happened after that game with Armar Doman coming out and posting what he posted, honestly, as a Lions fan, it kind of pissed me off, to be blunt.
What?
It was one of those with the, was it a catch? Wasn't it a catch? He posted that picture of what he said was a ball hit in the field. Okay, sure. Not the place or the time, in my opinion. I thought it was kind of crappy. It took away from what was a fun game to listen to. And I don't know, it rubbed me the wrong way. It was just one of those things where you're like, come on, you're better than that. Take the high road.
You just stop for a second to think if you should continue or not. I know you too well on that story. I don't have a problem. Listen, I love the BC Lions. As a matter of fact, the more that I get out of the league, I love every team except for maybe Calgary. But I didn't have a problem with Nathan Rourke lipping off the Rider fans. I didn't have a problem with Armar Doman posting evidence on his Instagram story because I saw that. I'm like, ooh, listen, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying, listen, dude, you didn't know me until 3 years ago. There was nobody more cocky than me. I used to have Rider coaches say, could you tone it down a little bit? Trash talking the other team. I said, hey, I believe in you. Go kick their ass. And then we did. It was fun. So, no, I don't. Yeah.
And you put butts in seats. That was the idea. I just think it was the wrong thing to do at the wrong time. That's my opinion on it.
Well, you wouldn't see most owners do that, but you wouldn't see most owners on Instagram. So listen, Armar Doman is everything that's good with CFL ownership. So if he makes a little misstep, I'm actually kind of a little surprised he wasn't fined, by the way. Glenn in Medicine Hat writes in, he says, how can the Grey Cup game this weekend not be considered a pick'em? Well, the last I saw, and I'm not going to put any money on and it anyway, so I don't really care, but it was 3.5. Well, anywhere from 1.5 to 3.5. But everybody's got the Riders favored, which is a whole other thing. I'm sure you saw the post of all the writers at CFL.ca, who was the original writer there? This guy. Everybody's picking the Riders. That would worry the hell out of me if I was Corey Mays.
Yes. Yeah. As you talk to all the press here, people are definitely leaning towards more of the Riders, except for all the Francophones, all the press that came in from Montreal. Of course, they're picking their team. Why wouldn't they? But I would say the Riders are definitely the favorite. Definitely more Rider fans here than any other fans early in the week. Time will tell what happens now, being Friday going into Saturday. I think this town's going to be painted green. It's going to be painted green, and it's going to be fun. Let's face it. I said it to Jake just after the game. Yeah, it sucks BC didn't win, but man, it's going to make it for a way more fun Grey Cup with the Riders in it. Come on, BC Montreal, great for me, not great for the league.
You haven't seen anything yet. No, just wait. Oh, and Jeff, the Stamps fan, says, we love that everyone hates us. I don't hate Calgary now, but holy F did I. And by the way, it was mutual and it made it so much fun. But when they say you don't realize it until after, that's kind of where I'm at now when I think about Grey Cups that I was part of with the Rider fans. It remind me of national championships in college football I've been at now with Clemson, Alabama. Their fans just take it over. Or Super Bowl, 49ers fans, Chiefs. It's insane. And Rider fan, that's what they're going to do this weekend in Winnipeg. So if you think for now, Rider fans, you just wait, buddy. You just wait, bucko. 902-518-3033 is the text line, brought to you by Western Dodge. From trucks to SUVs, Western Dodge has what you're looking for. Visit them in Moose Jaw or go online at westerndodge.ca. Kevin the Medium, good enough to join us for one more segment after this. He's live from the Grey Cup in Winnipeg, the 112th Grey Cup, and this is there's nobody else talking about it like we are on national television across Canada. Jim Barker coming up in hour 2, and Darren Moose DuPont. So get your questions and comments in for Kev. We got a lot here, Kev. Don't worry. We'll have plenty to talk about when we come back after this timeout. We're live across Canada and 32 U.S. states on the Game Plus television network. Also YouTube, podcast, and 1700 AM Mission Radio.
Country's hottest party is coming. James Barker Band, Bud Light Buckle Up Tour 2025. Live across Canada with special guests Ryan and Rory. November 20th, Temple Garden Center. Tickets on sale now at Temple Garden Center box office or online at zasktix.ca. James Barker Band Live.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with The Rod Pedersen Show. Talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is, you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more, there's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Pedersen Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
You have a vision, a big idea, but how do you turn ambition into absolute impact? It starts with connection. Booking top-tier speakers and executing seamless events, that's the EMJ difference.
We position your brand where it belongs, Guy, through powerful advertising, strategic media, and promotion that drives results. At EMJ Marketing, we don't just promote, we partner. Your growth, our mission.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Hiring a video company shouldn't be complicated. Click, pay, done. Skycron.com/Regina. This is a test pattern. This is what happens when your video company screws up. You don't want your clients to see a screw-up. Hire a company that only does video, so it won't screw up. Then, people who give you money will see less of these and more of you. Skycron.com/live.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with The Rod Pedersen Show. Talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is, you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more, there's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Pedersen Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
It's a Football Friday. When you're looking for strategic communications with impact, Outlaw Communications delivers, led by Tony Plater with 35 years of communication and leadership experience. He specializes in media relations training, leadership coaching, and crisis communication strategy. Call Tony at 306-570-6913 or visit tonyplater.com. Kevin the Medium is with us live from the 112th Grey Cup in Winnipeg, and I appreciate that from the Hughes Sports Podcast, which last night, when I tuned in, you guys were whining about the Lions defense on the last drive of the West Final. Did you move on to anything past that, or are you still hung up on that?
You know what? I am still hung up on that. I don't understand the logic of that call. And yes, there had to be a call from the bench, even though Jake said no, it might not have been. I'm like, what are you talking about? Of course the coach called it. Just seemed like if it didn't work the first time, we're going to try 10 more times to see if it's going to work 9 out of those times? Obviously, you got to change. We didn't. We lost. Move on.
All right, so let's do that. Arlen Bruce, the third, writes in. He says, great day, RP and Kev. Looking forward to the Grey Cup game Sunday. I hope the game goes into overtime. Machine Gun Kelly is going to kill it. I like both teams. Congratulations, number 12. You did it. He's talking about Nathan Rourke. Ken in Mississauga, Ontario writes in. He says, I thought Stuart Johnston was excellent in media event this morning. CFL is fortunate to have him as commissioner. I'll tell you who's fortunate. Stuart Johnston's fortunate. He was given an opportunity today to walk back his comments. And I like the guy, by the way. But a month ago when he announced the rule changes and said no guarantees on them moving off 3 downs, today he was given the chance to clarify that and guaranteed that they will never move from 3. Most guys don't get that chance. So Stuart Johnston's realizing there's a difference between being the president of Bell or TSN or putting your ass in the wind when you speak every single time in today's sports landscape, you know. But he is the commissioner of the CFL. Mark in Melfort writes in. He says, one thing I like about the press conference is that the CFL will finally have an app for your phone. Listen, come on. I don't want to go into this. Flag football leagues that have an app, for the love of God, and we haven't had one for – stop. Regarding the game, go ahead.
Not only will they have an app, but they will also be a big fantasy football component to it, which is massive. They should have been done 10 years ago. We're actually playing catch up, but that's okay. They're doing it, so let's give them kudos for doing it.
Larry in Medicine Hat writes in on the Western Dodge text line. He says, to all the nervous Rider fans, I'm reminded of what John Elway once said. I'd rather have a chance to step up at the plate than not at all. Rob in Regina writes in. He says, it'd be nothing sweeter than giving Alexander his first loss. Go Riders. I don't think the Rider fans should be nervous. And listen, I'm not going to tell Corey Mace how to coach his team. He's going to win Coach of the Year, I would think. But nobody is giving his defense any credit. Like, when you look at it, the quarterback from Montreal has never lost. That's kind of a big deal. And they got a really good defense too.
Yes.
But Saskatchewan's defense is the best in the league, and that's what wins championships. I don't understand, Kev, why nobody's talking about that.
And, you know, I had a conversation with Corey Mace, and that was one of the questions that was asked of him is, are you kind of getting upset that your defense is being overlooked in this whole picture? And he's like, no, I'm not upset at all, because we've been overlooked all year. And you look at all the stats, they're number one. I mean, we talked about it going into the BC game. I went through every single stat trying to find something that I could say, this is how my Lions are going to win. I needed an act of God. Apparently God was busy that day. He didn't help me out.
God's a Rider fan. You didn't hear? God's a Rider fan. Continue.
God's a Rider fan. Okay. I have to remember that one. But he is such a calm person when you're interviewing him. He doesn't, you could just tell that he's relaxed. To him, this is just another game. And it was funny talking to the QB, Harris, same thing. I'd love to say that the games I get hyped up for this game, but it's just another game. When we're on the field, it's just another game. AJ Ouellette, same thing. Cool story about AJ is when Rourke was the first time Rourke went down to Ohio to become a Bobcat, AJ was his host. I didn't realize that they had played together, but he was the host. He was the first guy that Nathan met when he went to the university, and AJ had such good things to say about it. If you go to my HSP, Old Man HSP on Twitter, we'll be posting that complete interview from AJ. It's a very cool one.
I love it, and I'm glad you're having so much fun covering all those events at the Coupe de Grey. So many things here, but just on that Rider defense, I'm not surprised Corey Mace isn't upset they're not getting any credit. Nobody wants the pub. Let's go under the radar and go out and bully people, which is what the Rough Riders defense had done all year, and especially in the Western Final as well. John O'Flynn in Vancouver writes in regarding Andre Proulx being named the official for the head referee for the 112th Grey Cup. He said, if it is to be Andre Proulx's last Grey Cup, I wish him well and have enjoyed his wonderful delivery / accent each and every time. Well, hang on. Who's saying that it's Andre Proulx's last Grey Cup? Are we inventing something? Haven't seen anywhere that this is not going to be his last Grey. And to be honest, that man is a freak of nature, because I've been sober 10 years. And I remember being in the whiskey saloon with Andre Proulx after a Rider game, and he stands out like a sore thumb. Andre Proulx, everybody knew who he was. He's sucking back darts like it's his job. I'm like, this is unbelievable. Holy CFL. Andre Proulx. He'll be broadcasting? He'll be refereeing the 112th Grey Cup, and he does a great job. And you don't get in there for any other reason than merit. Voted the top official every year is Andre Proulx. The only, not that this is a bad thing at all, Kev, but I'll be watching the Grey Cup in America, as I have for the last 5, and I watch with Americans, and they see Andre Proulx. The penalty, Montreal, third down. And his hat's side cocked. They're like, is this guy for real? It's the Canadian Football League, bro. What did you expect? What is your pick? We should do that for the Pump Jacks Cathedral Steakhouse and Saloon in Weyburn and Pump Jacks Regina. Do you have a Grey Cup pick, Kev? Might as well be doing it all year.
And I have picked the Riders every single game except when they played my Lions. So I can't go against it, and I'll stay with I'll go Riders by 3.
All right. I got the Riders as well. I'm not getting fancy. The point spread doesn't matter if it's just one. Mike Abomeshrik was on here yesterday and said, take the under. He expects a low-scoring Grey Cup. And when you have the top 2 defenses, that is going to be – listen, what did Mike Kelly say last week? He said the conference finals will come down to quarterback play. And I don't know, man. Davis Alexander, never lost is never lost, Kevin. Lost is never lost.
And the big talk here is, of course, the grizzled veteran against the rookie. There was a lot of talk yesterday about the new crop of QBs coming in the CFL. And somebody asked Bo that question about what's his thought on this new crop. How many years does he have left? And it was really funny. I actually asked him, how many more years do you see yourself playing? And instantly his wife jumped into the scrum and said, he's going to play forever. He's Captain America, which I just found hilarious. And then Bo, of course, talked very briefly about it. But I can't see Bo walking away anytime soon. He still looks. I told him he doesn't age.
Sunday. Why would guys walk away from the only thing they've ever wanted to do, making $500,000 a year? People actually want to think that Zach Caleros is going to retire. And why? He's the highest paid player in the league. No. And then you get the wives involved, and that's a whole other story for another time. Where's Mike O'Shea going? What's the rumor? Tell me, what are you hearing?
Mike O'Shea, I'm hearing it's been a done deal in Toronto. It's just a matter of waiting till after the Grey Cup to announce it, which is the right thing to do.
I just got the cue in my ear. You said, did you say he's going to Hamilton?
No, to Toronto.
Sorry, I didn't hear what you said. So it's all good. Okay, Kev, go have fun. Thanks for hanging out with us today, and just have fun.
We will be in touch, my friend. I don't know where I'll be
We'll
next
be right
week,
back
but
here on
we'll
Game
talk
Plus
next
TV.
week.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with The Rod Pedersen Show. Talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is, you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more, there's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Pedersen Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with The Rod Pedersen Show. Talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is, you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more, there's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Pedersen Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
This is a test pattern. This is what happens when your video company screws up. You don't want your clients to see a screw up. Hire a company that only does video, so it won't screw up. Then, people who give you money will see less of these and more of you. Skycron.com/live.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
You have a vision, a big idea. But how do you turn ambition into absolute impact? It starts with connection. Booking top-tier speakers and executing seamless events. That's the EMJ difference. We position your brand where it belongs, Guy, through powerful advertising, strategic media, and promotion that drives results. At EMJ Marketing, we don't just promote, we partner. Your growth, our mission.
Hiring a video company shouldn't be complicated. Click, pay, done. Skycron.com/Regina.
All right, welcome back, everybody. It is the RP Show's Football Friday. I'm going to tell you, stuff is going down in Swifty. We do the Junior Hockey Report every day for the Mad Greek Eatery. Following a WHL investigation, the WHL has issued a 5-game suspension to Swift Current Broncos head coach Dean De Silva and a $10,000 fine to the Swift Current Broncos organization. The investigation found that De Silva, in the process of administering player discipline, breached the WHL standards of conduct during 2 separate on-ice incidents, one game against PA and then another during a Broncos practice. And then I just opened my Facebook and see that Dean De Silva has just resigned, effective immediately, as the head coach and general manager of the Swift Current Broncos, taking over is Regan Darby on the interim, and following a separate WHL investigation, the WHL has suspended Lethbridge Hurricanes general manager Peter Anholt from his duties effective immediately and continued through Tuesday, November 15th, and has issued a $10,000 fine to the Lethbridge Hurricanes organization. The investigation found that Anholt breached the WHL standards of conduct through use of intimidating behavior and language during a post-game address to players in the dressing room following WHL regular season game number 152 versus Edmonton. So, yeah. Can we put this on a more positive light? Western Hockey League tonight, the Moose Jaw Warriors are at the Swift Current Broncos. Whew. There'll be a little heat in the Credit Union Iplex tonight. Medicine Hat Tigers are at Regina. It's a very busy night. Anyways, stop in at the Mad Greek in Moose Jaw. Tell them that the RP show was talking about them. Look up Johnny Utretis, the Mad Greek. Experience authentic Greek flavors right here in Moose Jaw at the Mad Greek Eatery. That's their line. Open until 11 p.m. Order online, pick up, or dine in at the madgreekeatery.com. Okay, Kevin the Medium has adjourned to go do Grey Cup things. Let me check the text line, 902-518-3033. From trucks to SUVs, Western Dodge has what you're looking for. Visit them in Moose Jaw or online at westerndodge.ca. Get your Grey Cup revelry out here in hour one. It's the Canadian hour of what we do here on Game Plus TV. In hour two, we will be going live across Nevada on the Silver State Sports and Entertainment Network, plus staying right here on Game Plus TV. Jim Barker will join us and Darren Dupont as well. Nelson, our VP of Sim Events, writes in, he simulates these events like the Grey Cups, the big games, Stanley Cup finals, and so forth. He says, hey, RP, just checking in from the road to Winnipeg. 10,000 simulations have the Riders winning 24-21. Just so you know, he's rarely wrong on these things. Yeah, I mean, I'm getting a kick out of the Canadian press did a story on Nelson and his dad, Lance, and it is running at rodpeterson.com. That they were, looking for tickets to the Grey Cup. And people are writing me going, I got tickets. I can get them tickets. I had people writing me from Winnipeg tagging me on Twitter, 2 Grey Cup tickets for sale. When did I become Facebook Marketplace or a flea market? There's other ways to go than me. Anyways, Nelson, I'm glad you got tickets. Have fun. Go Riders. Ken in Mississauga writes in and says, does Justin Dunk kind of have to walk a fine line working with both the Riders and 3 Down Nation? I don't know. Ask him. Glenn in Medicine Hat writes in, he says, the participation trophy generation of kids is now a generation of adults. To what are you referring, Glenn? I don't know. I shouldn't guess or suppose. Are you talking about these junior hockey suspensions to coaches and GMs? Because the immediate thing in the back of my head was, don't swear at little Johnny. But I don't know that that's the case. I don't have any idea what went down. And frankly, it's none of my business. I'm just along the news. Speaking of, it's time for your sports update brought to you by Ultimate Fan Zone, your home for jerseys, collectibles, and all the gear you need. Visit them today or shop online at ultimatefanzone.ca. Elias Pedersen of the Vancouver Canucks will look to get back in the win column tonight when they kick off a 3-game road swing against the Carolina Hurricanes. It's one of 4 games on the NHL schedule. Elsewhere, the Pittsburgh Penguins and Nashville Predators battle in Stockholm. The Flyers face the Blues in St. Louis, and the New York Islanders head to Utah to challenge the Mammoth. A major milestone for Brad Marchand, the veteran forward, potted 2 assists and notched his 1,000th career point as the Florida Panthers doubled up the Washington Capitals 6-3 last night. It was a treat to be there, a real treat to be there in American Bank Arena. You can go follow my social, or specifically the Cats and Bolts podcast, as I had a chance to interview Brad Marchand after the game last night. Marchand became the 102nd NHL player to hit the mark with 90 seconds to go in the game, helping out on an empty netter. San Francisco quarterback Brock Purdy will be back in the starting lineup Sunday when his 49ers take on the Arizona Cardinals. Purdy missed 6 games with a toe injury, but says he's now feeling healthy and ready to lead. He initially injured his toe in a game against Jacksonville, which led to a setback. Coach Kyle Shanahan admits the team may have rushed Purdy back too soon, but believes he's now ready after 6 weeks off. The sports update is brought to you by Ultimate Fan Zone Sports Store Moose Jaw. Get your game day gear in-store or online at ultimatefanzone.ca. I'm sorry, I'm a little distracted. I'm going to have to reply to TSN's Luke Wilson in the break. My God, is this guy high maintenance? He's called me out again. Like, guy, go away, please, which is pretty much what I'm going to say on Twitter. The second that we take a break here and get ready for hour 2. Get a life, Luke Wilson, please. I will say this, of Grey Cup week in Winnipeg, of all the things, and I lost track of how many I've been at, 22, 23-ish. What's going on in 10 minutes' time, that's what I wish I was at, the Legends Luncheon. And I didn't even start going to them until 2013. I am seated at the Grey Cup in Regina. It was 2011 in Vancouver when Joe Cap and Angelo Mosca got in the big fight. They still replay that one on everywhere, but especially ESPN, the two CFL icons. But this is, to be honest, they would have opened the doors at 11, opened the bar at 11. They go till about 3:30. And I asked Joe, 747 Gunnis, our business manager, to come on live from there because he's there. He works with the CFL Alumni Association. I said, come on from the convention center. It'll be awesome to have you on. And he's like, I can't. He's too busy. It's the best event at Grey Cup ever for a variety, every year, for a variety of reasons, not just the fight between Angelo Mosca and Joe Cap, but just what they cram it. They call it the Legends Lunch for a reason. All the alumni are there. And yeah, it helped that I know these guys, but you know what? You don't need to know them. You can walk right up to a Wally Buono. You can walk right up to a John Huffnagel or any of them and get a picture, get a chat, tell your stories. That's going on right now in Winnipeg. And that's what I'm envious of. And I learned, going way back to the Grey Cup 2002 in Edmonton, from a guy by the name of Jim Jerome. He was a radio guy up there. He only did Grey Cup events and then flew home on the Saturday or Sunday morning and watched the game in his living room. I'm like, that's the way to do it. And I started doing that. Max in Toronto writes in, he goes, that guy lives on the internet. I know what you're talking about, who you're talking about, Luke Wilson. Like, get a life. Laura in Edmonton writes in, she says, good morning, Rod. The great Laura Jackson, who sent me this bell this summer, and it is, I treasure this thing like you wouldn't imagine. Laura says, good morning, Rod. I know it's Football Friday, and I can't wait for the Grey Cup on Sunday, but I do want to thank you for having Mark Hebscher on last week. What a great interview, and I did download his new book from our public library for free. I'm halfway through the book, and what a great read. Thanks again. Thank you, Laura, because I'll be honest, I appreciate you saying that, because as I was reading Hebsey's book, I guess it was 2 weekends ago, I'm like, this is for a media nerd like me. I've dedicated my life to the industry, and producer Corey gets it. He has too. I loved it. But I'm like, does Joe public find this as interesting as I do? Apparently they do. So thank you, Laura, for doing that. Vintage Sasko writes in, says, hi, Reverend Rodney. You aren't Facebook Marketplace, but a Tradio/Swap and Shop segment will break the internet on your show. LOL. Hashtag CFSL. Oh, you remember Paul Miller? That was our midday guy on 1190 CFSL. We've got your country covered, CFSL. Good morning, Swap and Shop. Signed, Sasko. Or the flea market, you name it. Kirk in Toronto writes in and says, oh my, TSN's overdrive is at Grey Cup. Spider writes in and says, Rod, the super CFL cover man. Is that me? He says Commissioner Johnston was asked about the 10th team in Halifax and said that the CFL will not expand to the States. What do you think about those remarks? I think that I don't believe anything of what I hear from anybody, pretty much ever. As a hockey man, well, Perry Shockey's the first guy I heard say it. Apparently, Shock says he got it from somebody else, but believe none of what you hear and half of what you see. So, yeah. Matt DeBuck checks in from the Cardinal Gibbons Chiefs. He says the young gunslinger comes back to earth on Sunday. Oh, we'll see. We'll see. By the way, Jim Barker coming up next hour, 5-time Grey Cup champion. Darren Moose DuPont previewing the Mitchell Bowl in Week 11 in the NFL. I should tell you all that Ray Elgard, the Hall of Fame tight end, now living in Vegas, will be joining us on Monday to recap the 112th Grey Cup and talk Vegas sports. So that's all coming up. Hour 2 is in the hopper, everybody. We'll be right back here on Game Plus TV.
Hiring a video company shouldn't be complicated. Click, pay, done. Skycron.com/Regina.
You have a vision, a big idea, but how do you turn ambition into absolute impact? It starts with connection. Booking top-tier speakers and executing seamless events, that's the EMJ difference. We position your brand where it belongs, Guy, through powerful advertising, strategic media, and promotion that drives results. At EMJ Marketing, we don't just promote, we partner. Your growth, our mission.
This is a test pattern. This is what happens when your video company screws up. You don't want your clients to see a screw-up. Hire a company that only does video, so it won't screw up. Then, people who give you money will see less of these and more of you. Skycron.com/live.
You have a vision, a big idea, but how do you turn ambition into absolute impact? It starts with connection. Booking top-tier speakers and executing seamless events, that's the EMJ difference. We position your brand where it belongs, Guy, through powerful advertising, strategic media, and promotion that drives results. At EMJ Marketing, we don't just promote, we partner. Your growth, our mission.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with the Rod Pedersen Show. Talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is, you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more, there's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Pedersen Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
Hiring a video company shouldn't be complicated. Click, pay, done. Skycron.com/Regina.
How about that?
Hello, everybody. Welcome to a Football Friday here on the Game Plus Television Network and the Silver State Sports and Entertainment Network. That's right, we're rocking it out on 2 television networks across Nevada on Silver State and across Canada and 32 other U.S. states on the Game Plus TV network. It is a little ditty we call Football Friday. It's a very special day for a couple of reasons. The biggest reason is for the fans of the Canadian Football League. The championship is being played this Sunday in Winnipeg. The Saskatchewan Roughriders versus the Montreal Alouettes. Jim Barker joining us in the next segment to talk NFL, a little college if that's in the offing, but of course CFL too. Darren Moose DuPont will be joining us later on as well to talk Week 11 in the NFL, plus a Canadian University semifinal. So yeah, it's a very big weekend of football across the continent. But let's get going with a quick 6 show topics. We're opening with the National Football League, and I want some folks to chime in on this. Week 11 opened on Thursday night. The New England Patriots are now winners of 8 straight games. Rookie Travion Henderson rushed for 2 touchdowns and made a touchdown catch as the Patriots beat the New York Jets 27-14 on Thursday Night Football on Prime. Drake May threw for 281 yards and a touchdown. New England now 9-2. The best record in the NFL pending this weekend's games. And I actually do like days where things morph, the leagues morph within the sport. So a couple things on that. You see, for those of us that live in America, you see the coverage all across ESPN. I've seen it all week. Who gets more credit? Who's deserving of the credit? Mike Vrabel, the first-year head coach of the Patriots, or Drake May, the young quarterback I was talking about, who's having now an MVP season? Who's responsible for this? Why does it always have to be either or? Does it not remind you of the 6 Super Bowl discussion, especially after Tom Brady was shown the door in New England? Who was responsible for the 6 Super Bowls, Brady or Belichick? History might show with Tom going to Tampa Bay and winning a 7th that it was Tom, but I digress. I think we all would agree they couldn't have done it without each other. It's just a hell of a story that's going on in New England this year, and the fans of the other teams are saying, especially the sucky ones, saying, how come they rebuilt so fast? Leading the AFC East, ownership wins. It's not new. It's something we talk about here almost every day. When I say when the leagues intersect, it's a good thing. In this case, it is. In that, I might as well move on to it right now. Point 2, we'll come back on the NFL. With that Canadian Football League championship. Luke Wilson, I don't know what's with this guy. Fans of football in both countries know him as the Super Bowl winning tight end with the Seattle Seahawks for all those years. I know we go into the CFL season and he votes me on the list of the best guys in the CFL weeks 1 and 2. Somebody clearly got at him because all of a sudden, second half of the season, he's calling me a fraud. He's calling me the least credible member of the media. And I haven't even talked to you. I've never met you. I raised 3 girls. He's more high maintenance than all 3 of them combined. What is with this guy, Luke? Well, and the reason that we're up now is that he's on the CFL on TSN Friday Night Football broadcast on the sidelines. He's the biggest thing in the CFL media now, but it's like, can you just get my name out of your mouth? So because it is a Football Friday and things are all coming together here, yeah, we're on the Silver State Sports and Entertainment Network, but it's kind of a run-of-the-mill. Like, we'll talk about the Raiders and the Cowboys Monday Night Football on Monday. There's plenty of time to do that. We've got a Hall of Fame tight end by the name of Ray Elgard, who just discovered our show on the Silver State Sports and Entertainment Network on like Wednesday night. He texted me a photo of his television with my face on it. He goes, "What are you doing in my living room?" I said, "Well, Ray, number 81, he won a Grey Cup in 1989 with the Saskatchewan Roughriders. He's in the Canadian Football Hall of Fame, and deservedly so. He won the top Canadian award like 8 straight years in the league." And I said, "Hey, Ray, why don't you come on Monday, and let's talk about the Grey Cup game, the 112th Grey Cup, which will be played Sunday, Montreal versus Saskatchewan and Winnipeg, and Las Vegas sports." And he's going to do that on Monday. So I'm very much looking forward to that. He lives in Vegas now. He's got Cox as his cable package. I always knew that. I've been at his house. He's a great guy. So that'll be fun. So it's just fun when the NFL and the CFL come together and we can, well, I thought all be friends, except for when you've got a Super Bowl winning tight end trolling me for no apparent reason. Like literally get off my back. Now we haven't even talked hockey today, which is fine. It's called Football Friday. And the Golden Knights lost their 4th in a row last night, and the Leafs lost 2. So maybe we shouldn't be talking hockey here today. But the biggest news, what's cool about daytime television and what we do, this news cycle now moves so fast. I mean, last night was the Canadian Football League Awards. All you need to know about today is that Nathan Rourke of the BC Lions was named the most outstanding player in the league. Fast forward to Friday morning, and the commissioner of the Canadian Football League, Stuart Johnston, held the annual Commissioner State of the League address. I've covered 23 of them in my time. I'm obviously not there this year in Winnipeg, but it's become kind of a big deal. A month ago, they announced, actually less than a month ago, I think, they announced major changes coming to the CFL. It's got everybody running around with their hair on fire. You better not be changing from 3 downs. Better not be doing this. And the commissioner guaranteed that they're not going to be ever in his time going away from 3 downs, but all the other rule changes stay. So it's just a very high-octane time in the Canadian Football League. And so when Jim Barker joins us in the next segment, we'll be talking about the Grey Cup. You know, we had Johnny Avello with us on Wednesday from DraftKings in Vegas Sportsbook, talking about how there's a lot of money changing hands on this particular game on Sunday. It's fun. And by the way, it'll air 6 p.m. Sunday on the CBS Sports Network here across America and, of course, across Canada on TSN and CTV. Anyways, let me just move along. I will talk hockey because some fun things happened last night. Not fun at the Fortress in Vegas. Jean-Gabriel Pageau scored a shorthanded goal at 3:02 overtime, and the New York Islanders beat Vegas for its 3rd straight win. Shea Theodore, Thomas Hertel, and Riley Smith scored for Vegas, who have lost their 4th in a row. And 7 of their last 9. Akira Schmid finished with 20 saves for Vegas. My picks took it in the pills last night. Don't come here for betting advice, but I don't tell you to come here for betting advice. I was 4 of 9 in NHL games last night. I think I need to put a little more effort into my picks. But anyways, I'm sure Bruce Cassidy was hot after the Golden Knights lost to Florida on Monday night. I can't imagine what he was like last night. I didn't hear what he had to say, the coach of the Golden Knights. But just imagine being in Toronto. Maple Leafs head coach Craig Berube says he's not going to panic. But there was a level of urgency after Toronto's 4th straight loss. Quinton Byfield scored in overtime as the LA Kings came back to defeat the Toronto Maple Leafs 4-3 on Thursday night. I'm not even going to talk about the Leafs because everybody else is. Jordan Eberle, who adorns this set every day, don't you know, broke a tie at 7:21 of the 3rd period and added an empty netter in the Seattle Kraken's 5-3 victory over the Winnipeg Jets. And Dustin Wolf stopped all 16 shots he faced, and the Calgary Flames blanked the San Jose Sharks 2-0 on Thursday. All my picks were blown completely out of the water last night. Elsewhere, Ottawa held on for a 5-3 win over the Boston Bruins, and the Columbus Blue Jackets edged the Edmonton Oilers 5-4. And I should mention it was just a fun night here in Sunrise, Florida last night. Brad Marchand had 2 assists, putting him at 1,000 career points in the NHL, mostly with Boston, but now not even a full season in Florida. All of a sudden, he's become a Florida sports legend. It doesn't take a lot, just so you know, to become a Florida sports legend. Doesn't take much. Well, you need to win, but Marchand did that. He was only with the Panthers for a month, won a Stanley Cup. Now he's the biggest deal. And after the game, had the chance to interview him. Panthers are so good to me. And he said he's like, this was the first game of a long homestand. And he was like, I was just glad to do it tonight. Get it out of the way. Had family in town. And yeah, it was fun. Okay. I'm just checking in from the audience here. Arlen Bruce writes in, the former Kansas City Chief and 2-time Grey Cup champion. He says, hey, Rod, don't let Luke Wilson get to you. His show is coming to an end soon. Anyways, you have news about my son, Arlen Bruce IV. Can't we all just get along? Hey, Google, play We Are the World. What's the news, AB, about your son? You signed a new contract in the indoor football league, correct? Anyway, there's a story there that we don't have time for here right now. Oh, Mark in Melfort writes in, where they do the Melfort Shuffle. He says, nice response on Twitter, Rod, to Luke Wilson. Short and to the point. I just told him to shut up. Literally get off my back and get your name out of your mouth. Point 4, the quick 6, as we roll along on this sports program today. The Toronto Raptors, point 4, they are the NBA team of this show because we're anchored in Toronto. That's their NBA team, and Las Vegas, where they don't have a team yet in the association. Scotty Barnes led the Raptors with 28 points and 10 rebounds as Toronto downed the Cleveland Cavaliers 126-113. Emmanuel quickly added 25 points for the visitors, who have won 6 of their last 7. Cleveland's Donovan Mitchell put up a game-high 31 points as the Cavs fell to the Raptors for the second time in 2 weeks. A baseball note, actually before that, in the NBA tonight, there are 9 games, including the Miami Heat at the New York Knickerbockers. Okay, to point 5, another MVP title for Shohei Ohtani. The two-way Japanese superstar is the unanimous winner of the National League honor for a 3rd straight year and for the 4th time in his career. Aaron Judge is this year's American League MVP. The Yankees slugger edged Seattle's Cal Raleigh with 17 first-place votes to 13 for the switch-hitting catcher. Judge also won the award in 2022 and 2024 and joined Joe DiMaggio, Yogi Berra, and Mickey Mantle as 3-time MVPs with the Yankees. Now you're getting somewhere. Not like Aaron Judge he hasn't won yet. What all those guys do? They won World Series. Aaron Judge has not done that yet. Reminds me of that old Cheers episode. Remember with Cliff Clavin? What do these 3 have in common? All 3 have not been in my kitchen. Alex. By the way, the RP show is brought to you by CoolBet. Claim your welcome bet bonus up to $200 with the promo code RP200 at coolbet.com. Canadian viewers only. Sorry. The text line is open 902-518-3033. It is brought to you by Western Dodge. Are you ready for a new ride? Head to Western Dodge in Moose Jaw, where the deals are real and the service is legendary. What else do we have here? Jim Barker coming up in the next segment from the CFL on TSN, 5-time Grey Cup champion, to talk about a lot of things. I'll be honest, where my mind is, I'm not going to lie, because to me, this is just another week in the NFL. It's week 11. There are some salacious football games that we will, if we have time, be getting into with Darren Moose DuPont later, and maybe if Jim Barker wants to chime in on these as well. Like literally, probably should have had this as the poll question today. What's the game of the week in the NFL? What's America's game of the week? Pretty sure, well, the Sunday nighter is Detroit at Philadelphia, so that's not Fox's America's game of the week, but it probably should be. The Eagles favored by 2.5. And by the way, if Chris Sims says the Eagles are the best team in the NFL, then I'm going to go with Chris Sims and say the Eagles are the best team in the NFL, especially after what they did at the trade deadline and leading up to the trade deadline. But I mean, Kansas City, Denver? Who would have thought that the Denver Broncos would be leading the division? And it's just odd that Kansas City goes in there with a worse record, but are favored by 3.5 points, the Chiefs. And as of today, they are still the odds-on betting favorite to win the Super Bowl, the Kansas City Chiefs. As of last week, they weren't even in a playoff spot, and they had a bye last week. So that is something, if we have time, I would like to get to with Jim Barker. Other than the bettors, and well, more so the odds makers, trust the Kansas City Chiefs. But as Johnny Avello said earlier this week, bettors are tired of the Kansas City Chiefs. And I get it, but it's not their fault that they've been to the dance. Who is saying that I'm anti-CFL? Who's saying that? This is just stupid. Can we please go into the weekend on a positive? I mean, I know I'm going to. There's just something, unfortunately, about the 3-down game that just brings out the worst in people. I don't want to be that person. Wayne in Winnipeg writes in, he says, hey, Rod, get over it. Luke Wilson is being just like you, using controversy to make their shows interesting. That's what people like about your show. In the end, it gets people talking about, sir. I get it, but he's on TSN. Okay? He doesn't need to wake up every day and decide who is he going to be at war with today. Those are the kind of people that I typically do everything in my power to stay away from. We're not TSN. We're an independently owned show where, I don't even stir things up. But all this guy's coming at me for no reason at all. Arlen Bruce III says he'll be sharing the news about his son, AB4, coming up after the Grey Cup. Okay, I'm looking forward to that. But what I'm looking forward to the most is Jim Barker joining us next to talk football at all levels. So hang on to your cap. We'll be right back, and your toupee, if it applies. We're across Nevada on the Silver State Sports and Entertainment Network and Game Plus TV.
Hiring a video company shouldn't be complicated. Click, pay, done. Skycron.com/Regina.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with the Rod Pedersen Show. Talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more. There's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Pedersen Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
You have a vision, a big idea, but how do you turn ambition into absolute impact? It starts with connection. Booking top-tier speakers and executing seamless events. That's the EMJ difference. We position your brand where it belongs, Guy, through powerful advertising, strategic media, and promotion that drives results. At EMJ Marketing, we don't just promote, we partner. Your growth, our mission.
This is a test pattern. This is what happens when your video company screws up. You don't want your clients to see a screw-up. Hire a company that only does video, so it won't screw up. Then, people who give you money will see less of these and more of you. Skycron.com/live. Hiring a video company shouldn't be complicated. Click, pay, done. Skycron.com/Regina.
All right, welcome back, everybody, as a Football Friday continues here on the old RP Show. 902-518-3033. Darren Moose DuPont coming up. Oh, we have Darren. It's that kind of day. Okay, guys. Okay, Darren, you used the wrong link. And what would you do if you were me? Producer Corey? Okay. Hang on, everybody. We'll get it all sorted out as we roll here. And there we go. We got the coach. Thank you, Jim. Appreciate you. As you see, we're having a day. What are your thoughts football-wise, man? Where do you want to start?
I can't hear.
Darren, what? You're on, Darren. You're not on yet, Darren. We need you in the third segment at 1:38 Eastern. Okay, I'm going to jump into a sports update here. Producer Corey will get this all sorted out with Jim Barker coming up. Two-way star Shohei Ohtani won his fourth MVP award in a unanimous vote for the National League honor, and Aaron Judge earned the American League accolade for the third time. Ohtani won an MVP for the third straight year, his second in the NL with the Dodgers after two in the American League with the LA Angels. All four have been unanimous. Judge became the Yankees' fourth three-time winner, edging Seattle's Kyle Raleigh with 17 first-place votes to 13 for the switch-hitting catcher. The vote was the closest for an MVP since the Angels' Mike Trout topped Houston's Alex Bregman by a count of 17-13 back in 2019. Well, why not talk about baseball and betting here as we get our guests figured out in and out. Baseball and bets go hand in hand in the Dominican Republic, where professional athletes, musicians, and even legislators go public with their wagers. For every legal bet in the Caribbean country, officials estimate there are countless more illegal ones. It's a widespread practice that has come under scrutiny following U.S. federal indictments of Cleveland Guardians pitchers Emmanuel Clase and Luis Ortiz. Hey, Coach, I'll just finish this. They're accused of taking bribes from unnamed sports bettors in the Dominican Republic to throw certain pitches and help those bettors win at least $460,000. Both pitchers pleading not guilty. Okay, Coach, I think you can hear us. Let's start with the CFL because that's what we know going into the 112th Grey Cup this Sunday. Riders favorite. Are you going along with that?
Yes, I would favor the Riders. I think that their defense, the home field thing changes. I mean, when we played in 2022 in Saskatchewan, when we played Winnipeg, there was a whole lot of people cheering for the Argos wearing green. And I can assure you it's going to be hard for Bomber fans to cheer for the Saskatchewan Roughriders. So the home field kind of gets, that advantage kind of gets shifted a bit in that it'll be split for the Grey Cup game. I love Saskatchewan's defense. Their offensive line with Tate in there now is very dominant. The Montreal quarterback, he hasn't lost. I've never seen a quarterback who behaves the way he does on the field that, in terms of some of the things. I've had Flutie and Calvillo and Ricky Ray and Tracy Ham and some of the greatest that have played, and nobody has ever antagonized the other team the way this quarterback does. But he's had success. He played in 38% of their games and won them all and has not lost in the playoffs. So you have to account for that. But he's already got an injury. And, again, he's shown the ability to not stay healthy. I think that's a big question mark. And against this team, he's going to have to move in the pocket some. This secondary is different. When they played them and beat them pretty big, Montreal beat them pretty bad. they were playing corners that, had never played corner, and it's going to be a totally different defense he sees this time. And I like Saskatchewan in the game, and I think it's going to be close. Montreal has experience. Montreal won it as early as 2 years ago in a game nobody thought they had a chance to win, in the Cody effect. Will this guy have the Davis Alexander effect? I don't know. We're going to find out. So, again, it comes down to, I think these are the two most physical teams in the league. I think that the Montreal offensive line, they should get Lestage back. They could be okay up front offensively. Defensively, Mustafa Johnson's still a question mark. I think that defensive front of Saskatchewan, Baldonado's limping around. When Shane Ray was in there, that thing was nails. They got a little bit of a problem on the one edge now, but I just like their overall defense, and I think Corey Mace has his team mentally in the exact right place you want. Jason Moss has been there, done it. What a great game. It's going to be a great football game.
For the American viewer, well, there'll be millions are going to be watching in Canada, potentially millions in the States. 6 p.m. Eastern, Saskatchewan versus Montreal in the Grey Cup in Winnipeg. CBS Sports Network will have it in the States. The young quarterback for the Montreal Alouettes, I think he's 28, is 13-0 from Gig Harbor, Washington. Davis Alexander has never lost, and they're going up against the Saskatchewan Roughriders and their 39-year-old quarterback, Trevor Harris, who has never won a Grey Cup, from Waldo, Ohio, and they do have the best defense in the Canadian Football League. But here's another one. All the pundits have picked Saskatchewan. I'm sure you've seen it. Sask. And they're the betting favorites. Would that worry you if you were their head coach, Corey? Everybody's expecting you to win. What does that do to your mind in a championship game?
You know what? It really doesn't do anything. I was with Hamilton Tiger Cats in 2019. We went into Calgary, heavy favorite. I don't even know that we felt like a favorite. I mean, you're at the Grey Cup, and you got so many things going on that are so cool that you've never seen before. You come out for the game, it's so different than a normal game. The weather's going to be cold, but not horrible. It's going to be a pretty nice night in Winnipeg, it sounds like. And just the difference in the game, I didn't even know until after the game that we were, because I never look at the odds and things like that. So again, I don't think that's going to affect Saskatchewan at all. They're not going to go in there feeling overconfident. Again, this is a team that won it 2 years ago. Saskatchewan hasn't won it in a while. And again, I think Corey Mace is too good of a coach to allow those kind of things to be a factor. So I look at it, the nuts and bolts, man. Who's better in the lines? Who's got the most, defense that can physically make them, I heard Micah Bumekrick talked about the unders because defense always does play a factor in the game. But ultimately, both teams have players that have played in this game and understand what goes into it. So I think you take the team that you think has the better players. And right now, I look at that as being Saskatchewan. I don't, and the quarterback factor of, he's 13-0, he played in 38% of the games this year. Yeah, they won all of those. And he won 2 in the playoffs. But he's not healthy again. And what's it going to take for that hamstring to act up? One, running away from Micah Johnson, and he's done. Now they're going to McLeod. Now, McLeod I wouldn't mind having him as my backup quarterback in a Grey Cup game because that guy has been there, done that. It's not going to bother him. It's not going to be too big for him. So, again, I think they do have that to fall back on. But, again, the rest of it, I just think Saskatchewan's a better football team all the way around. And we'll find out.
Yeah, well, you've won 5 of these championships, plus the XFL and various other ones. Like, it's not always about the best team. It's one day. It's not a best of
True.
7 series. And the thing is, you and I have been doing this long enough now. We were together sitting beside each other at the Grey Cup in Vancouver last year, talking about all these exact same things. And what's fun about it is, because I've been to several Grey Cups and been part of them, it's not just another game. Like, the distractions are really off the charts.
Mm-hmm. There's no question distractions are an issue. Again, Mace has lived it as recently as a couple of years ago. Jason Moss has lived it with this team a couple of years ago. Danny Machocha, the GM, has dealt with this stuff. So I don't worry about that being a factor. I mean, the distractions, I think they will be able to keep their team in place, but and focused. But I just think that the better football team is the Saskatchewan Roughriders, and it comes down to that's what it ended up coming down to in BC. I mean, I thought the BC Lions, they played a gallant game, but ultimately in the end, that last drive, Trevor Harris, those are kind of career defining drives. Everybody remembers the one when Cody hit the goalpost in the final. Well, people will now from Saskatchewan can remember the Tommy Neal catch, or whether it was first down, and Amar Doman thinks it was not a catch, and people can say what they want. Bottom line, it was a catch, and they will be able to remember Trevor Harris's pass to win that Eastern final and send them to the Grey Cup. So that's what this time of the year is about: memories and creating those great moments. And again, it's exciting for the players. I'm excited to watch it unfold and watch how it unfolds, because it will be different than every other game that's been played all year.
Before we switch to the NFL, I should ask you if you were following the Commissioner's State of the League news conference Friday morning. It's a highlight of the year for fans of the Canadian Football League. Stuart Johnston basically reiterating the changes coming, field size changes, goalposts moving, but they will never move off 3 downs. There's some business stuff in there, and ratings are up marginally, revenue's up marginally. Everything's up. Everything's great, Jim. What was your takeaway from what you followed?
It's like the presidential speech after he's elected. It's all good, and that's fine. I mean, I didn't hear any of it. It doesn't affect me. I mean, I just wasn't paying attention. So I'm sure he came up and he's well spoken. That's kind of what he does well. So I'm sure it was good. And talking about the rule changes, there's a lot of fans that are this year happen to be a little uptight about it. I think let it go for a few years and see what happens. I mean, next year, nothing's really happening. There's a few minor things, but see what happens. And, when they brought the hash marks in, I thought, wow, is that going to change the game? And it surely did. I mean, scoring, you can create situations for more scoring all you want. At what point is enough? They've had more scoring in the CFL this year than any in history. Do they want to do things to create? Do they want to become the Arena League? Do they want 70-68? Do they want, 82-74? I mean, they can do that by just keep making the field smaller. And so, the owners control the direction the league goes, because the owners control the commissioner. And I can tell you this, they all want their franchise values to raise. And viewership does that, and that's what they've got to create. Now, if they think that 70-68 creates it, they'll make more rules to improve scoring. If it's about expansion, then so be it. We'll find that out in a few years. I'm with you. Believe nothing you hear, and
you heard that.
But that's kind of the way. I mean, I listened to your show today, and heard that it's a done deal that Mike O'Shea is going to Toronto. And unequivocally, I can tell you that he hadn't decided yet. He didn't know what he's going to do. I mean, that's a tough decision for, you have two. Can we talk about that for a second? About what he's going through is you have the Al Davis theory. Al Davis believed 10 years and you need to move on. And he did it with John Madden, one of the great coaches in NFL history, 10 years done. Replaced by Tom Flores, 10 years, done. He just believed that was your length. As coaches, you kind of can feel it. Paul Maurice left the Winnipeg Jets mid-season, goes down to Florida, wins back-to-back Stanley Cups, and was quoted as saying, I knew it was better for somebody else's message to come into this locker room. Nobody knows that better than Mike O'Shea. So you have all the things to take into effect. Do I want to, do I want to go to a new place and create a culture and create the same kind of thing I did here? A team that's won 2 out of the 3 last Grey Cups. How are you really creating? Again, or do I want to go back and reinvigorate myself by recreating that culture? Because it wasn't the same for Winnipeg this year. I just don't believe they were the same. So he's got all those things that he's going through. And I can tell you that he has not made a decision. I mean, as of an hour ago. So anything about he's made a decision is wrong. I can tell you that. Now, what's he going to do? I can't tell you that. I have no idea. All I can tell you is that this is a very difficult decision, and have the respect for the man. He's earned the right to have this decision on his plate. And, again, it's great when fans say, well, no, it's a done deal. He's going here, or he's going there. And that, I guess they can do that. But, I can tell you that this is one that he'll gruel over, because he does love Winnipeg.
Of course.
All right. Down to the NFL.
Well, we only got a couple minutes, but yeah, what do you got?
I don't know. What do you want?
May or Vrabel? Who gets the credit
Patriots?
in New England? Yeah.
Let's start with the Patriots last night, okay? The Bills better be aware, because they're playing a team that's now 9-2, and they're 6-3. This team has beaten them at home already, okay? This team has got a quarterback that is now second in what people, in the speculation about being the most valuable player in the NFL. Jonathan Taylor's up there. But Drake May is making a statement that I'm going to be the most valuable player. That team is believing. They're playing like the old Patriots used to. So I think the Bills, they've got a huge game this week. They've got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, tough team, tough game to win. I believe they're on the road. I think that's a fun thing to watch, is the New England Patriots. Who's responsible for it? It's a combination. They get Drake May last year, so they have the guy they thought Mac Jones would be, who it wasn't. And they now have that guy, that new Tom Brady. Josh McDaniels is still there with him. I think he deserves a ton of credit. A guy who is in his perfect job. He doesn't need to go anywhere else. Just stay where you're at and continue doing what you're doing. And Mike Vrabel obviously has brought back the Patriot way. And you watch as the years start to come forward, they'll sign free agents that maybe are problem children elsewhere, and they'll go there and have no problem. So the Patriots are a great study. I think that game last night spoke volumes.
They're going to kick us. We're going to kick us off. Thanks, Jim. Enjoy the game Sunday. We got it all. And appreciate that. And thanks for hanging in off the start. We'll be right back with the Moose and a sports update right after this. Silver State Sports Entertainment Network and Game Plus.
You have a vision, a big idea, but how do you turn ambition into absolute impact? It starts with connection. Booking top-tier speakers and executing seamless events, that's the EMJ difference. We position your brand where it belongs, Guy, through powerful advertising, strategic media, and promotion that drives results. At EMJ Marketing, we don't just promote, we partner.
Your growth, our mission.
This is a test pattern. This is what happens when your video company screws up. You don't want your clients to see a screw up. Hire a company that only does video, so it won't screw up. Then, people who give you money will see less of these and more of you. Skycron.com/live.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with the Rod Pedersen Show. Talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is, you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more, there's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Pedersen Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
This is a test pattern. This is what happens when your video company screws up. You don't want your clients to see a screw up. Hire a company that only does video, so it won't screw up. Then, people who give you money will see less of these and more of you. Skycron.com/live.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Hiring a video company shouldn't be complicated. Click, pay, done. Skycron.com/Regina.
And away we go. Football Friday continues on the RP show. And we've covered it all. We did not have enough time to get to it all with Jim Barker, but why not? I got a page full of chicken scratches and notes here. The Moose is with us from the T-Dot. Hey, Moose, welcome back to the Silver State Sports Entertainment Network and Game Plus. How are you doing today, good sir?
I am great, man. Good to see you today.
Okay, listen, we've told everybody, of course, that it's the biggest weekend of Canadian football. The CFL Championship will be played this Sunday. It's the semifinal for university football, the Mitchell Bowl. But you've been calling the games all year. We might as well stay in that Canadian vein here. Do you have a preview of the Huskies and the Golden Gales of Queens from this weekend?
Yeah, it's a bit of a shocker. Not that the Huskies are in it. They're a really good football team. So is Queens. They're both really good football teams. But Queens upset Laurier, who was all year, post to post, the number one team in the country. Very good. But Rod, these two teams, I'll try and be quick. They're so tight across the board. When you look at these two teams, two running backs that are in the top of the country, career, both of them have over 3,000 career rushing yards in Riker Frank and Jared Chisari of Queens. They both have a receiver in the top three in the country. Daniel Weeb leads everybody in touchdown catches for Saskatchewan, and he was their MVP. But Nathan Falcone, top 5 receiver in yards. They both have really great defenses. I mean, the Huskies are one of the best defenses in the country, allowing less than 20 points per game. I think it's less than 18 points a game. They both rack up the sacks. They each have a defensive lineman in the top 3 or top 5 in sacks. But there's a couple of differences. Queens creates interceptions, a lot of them. And the Huskies have a young quarterback who's been forced to play tough news with Anton Ammanrud being diagnosed with cancer. We saw that come out this week. So that might be the difference. Alex Vreekin, more of a veteran quarterback, third in the country, 18 touchdowns, young quarterback for Saskatchewan. But their defense is so good. There's so many veterans around them that I think this is going to be one heck of a football game.
I love it. Well, listen, we could go one of two ways, positive or negative. Negative would be asking you about your Titans. Let's stay away from that. Since it's the last Friday of the CFL season, I should get your take on the 112th Grey Cup, your Saskatchewan Roughriders against the Montreal Alouettes. You'll be watching. How do you see this playing down in Winnipeg?
I'm from Saskatchewan, so of course, the heart is with the Riders and Trevor Harris. I mean, I've seen this around this week, and this whole term of this is a legacy game for Trevor Harris. This is the resume capper. This is the Hall of Fame on the line. It feels like all the pressure is on Trevor Harris in this game. His legacy will be defined by it. His Hall of Fame status will be defined by it, according to everything I see. And I don't know that everybody's wrong. I really don't. I mean, this is a big game for Trevor in the biggest stage against, a Montreal teams, that is scrappy. And when Davis Alexander plays, all they do is win. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I think it's about the quarterbacks, and I think and hope that the Riders win, I think.
So you just said you're cheering for Sask. Are you picking them?
You know what? It feels like this year more than ever. And I know there's been other things going on with the job and new things, and I haven't been on every day. And I feel like this year more than others, I've gotten to be just a fan again. And I can say, because I haven't been covering the league itself on a daily basis, that I can say, yeah, I'm going to cheer for the Riders on Sunday.
Sure, but who are you picking? Are you consciously dodging the pick?
No, I'm picking the Riders.
Okay, you said twice you're cheering for them, but you didn't say you were picking them to win. Unless I missed it, which I might have. Yeah, okay, good. All right, my man. Well, you've got some exciting things coming up, huh? You'll be joining us down here in the States before long. I don't want to spill the beans too much. When are you coming down?
I'm actually heading to the States on Monday, and then going to be down there for a little while before Christmas, and then back down in the New Year again.
Okay. Sounds good, my man. Well, I appreciate all the time. What's your Grey Cup Sunday going to entail?
It's going to entail a really big pizza, a lot of couch time, and we're going to watch all the coverage all day long. I don't think I'm going to leave the couch.
Okay, we will be flying a Mad Greek pizza to Toronto for the Casa Moose to enjoy the 112th Grey Cup, the Saskatchewan Roughriders and Montreal Alouettes. We'll put a bow on all of this when we return with a sports update and viewer takeover the rest of the way, everybody. Moose, I appreciate you filling in or finding the time to join us here today. You're now one of the busiest guys I know in this perilous trade. So thank you for the insight. It's fantastic. Enjoy that game too. Your dogs going after. I know you'll be cheering for the Huskies as well. Everybody, we'll be right back. You're watching across Nevada on the Silver State Sports Entertainment Network, Game Plus TV, YouTube Live, podcast, and 1700 AM Mission Radio.
This is a test pattern. This is what happens when your video company screws up. You don't want your clients to see a screw up. Hire a company that only does video, so it won't screw up. Then, people who give you money will see less of these and more of you. Skycron.com/live.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with the Rod Pedersen Show. Talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is, you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more, there's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Pedersen Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
You have a vision, a big idea. But how do you turn ambition into absolute impact? It starts with connection. Booking top-tier speakers and executing seamless events. That's the EMJ difference.
We position your brand where it belongs, Guy, through powerful advertising, strategic media, and promotion that drives results. At EMJ Marketing, we don't just promote, we partner. Your growth, our mission.
Do you worry about how much someone drinks?
Do you feel angry or depressed most of the time? Do you feel neglected or unloved?
Do you feel that if the drinker loved you, she or he would stop drinking?
If you answered yes to any of these questions, you are not alone.
Not everyone trapped by alcohol is an alcoholic.
Families and friends are suffering too. Al-Anon and Alateen can help. Call 1-866-200-0223 or visit alanon.org/help.
Looking for a new ride without the big city pressure? Come to Western Dodge in Moose Jaw, where you'll find an unbeatable lineup of Ram trucks, Jeep SUVs, Dodge Muscle, and Chrysler family rides. With knowledgeable staff, great prices, and that friendly Moose Jaw touch, you'll drive away with confidence. Western Dodge, big selection, small town service. Visit us today or browse online at westerndodge.ca. Okay, everybody, we are back for overtime. Who's ready for the weekend? Me. I feel like you are too, producer Corey. And I'm sure they are at Overtime Hockey Lanes in Calgary, and you can check them out at 28th Street Northeast, Calgary. What can I tell you? It's an amusement park for hockey players. That's really all you need to know. And it should be joy in Mudville today, i.e. Calgary, that the Flames won last night by a score of 2-0. But it is a football Friday, and I don't know. For whatever reason, this show has just fried my brain today. I don't know what it is. It's not the viewers. I'll tell you that. You guys have been really great, and gals, and you have really brought the lumber today at all levels of football. I appreciate that. And I don't really know where to start. Rob is watching in Las Vegas. He writes in the Bills at home versus the Bucks. Did somebody say otherwise? Like, I literally wasn't even paying that close of attention. But yeah, the Bills are home to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And after the Buffalo Bills were humiliated here in Miami last Sunday, I think you can go with a Bills victory in that one. Go to rodpeterson.com for our NFL picks. We do it every week, brought to you by our friends at the Pump House. Pump Jacks Social Hall, by the way, Pump Jacks Cathedral and Pump Jacks Weyburn. Come early, stay late. It is your Grey Cup headquarters. Let's be honest, that's where a lot of our minds are. It is the last week of the Canadian Football League season. It's a league that's very dear to our heart, having spent so many years following it as fans, working in it as well. Matthew Hyman writes in. He's in Winnipeg. He says, Rod Pedersen, are you in Winnipeg? Hashtag get pegged. No. I did not pick up this set from South Florida and take it to Winnipeg. Not in Winnipeg. But I will be watching it 6 p.m. on Sunday on the CBS Sports Network. And I picked Saskatchewan to win, just so you know. Talking about all different levels, Tony in Cochrane writes in, he says, hey, Moose, our NFL teams seem to be in a race for the number one draft pick. Everyone knows what the Browns need. What position do the Titans need? If we had more than 5 minutes with Moose, I would have passed that question along. It's a quickie on Fridays. And I didn't really know where to necessarily go with Darren other than again, the Canadian football season is wrapping up. The pro season ends this Sunday. The university season ends next weekend at Mosaic Stadium in Regina. So everybody is excited about that north of the border. You know, as we sit here, it is a football Friday, but we do our NHL picks every day. I really took it in the teeth last night with only 4 of 9 correct selections in the National Hockey League. I got to pick it up. But there are 4 games tonight in the NHL. Let's do the picks. Pittsburgh Penguins at the Nashville Predators. Last I noticed, the Predators were second last overall in the NHL. That was just as of Wednesday. I'm guessing they're still there. I'll take Pittsburgh to win at Nashville. Although things are starting to shake down. The Penguins' magical start, not lasting. Okay, but I will take them to win in Nashville tonight. They got problems there with the Preds, and I don't know exactly what it is. This ain't the Predators show, obviously. The Vancouver Canucks at the Carolina Hurricanes. It was the first of a road trip for the Canucks. Hurricanes sitting there waiting for him. I think I'll go with Rod Brindamore and his crew. Philadelphia Flyers at the St. Louis Blues. I would say this is the least compelling matchup of the night, but believe it or not, there is a less compelling matchup than that one. Philadelphia at St. Louis. I think the Blues are going to figure it out. And that starts tonight against Philadelphia. And the New York Islanders at Utah. The Islanders one night after winning in Vegas 4-3 Thursday night in overtime, sending the Golden Knights to their 4th consecutive loss. I don't like teams on back-to-back nights winning. It rarely happens. I'll go with the Utah Mammoth tonight with a home victory over the New York Islanders. Tony and Cochran, get your mind out of the gutter, please. I say that somewhat facetiously, but I can't repeat it on the air what he just wrote in. 902-518-3033 is the text line. Brady writes in. He's watching in the Bridge City. He says, hey, Rod, Saturday's West Final was amazing. This Rough Riders squad is special this year. Here's hoping they bring home Saskatchewan's 5th Grey Cup on Sunday. Go Riders. As you can see, for the benefit of our U.S. viewers, they are all geeked up across Canada for football right now. And I love it. I really do. Not sitting here regretting my decision to take a knee on this 112th edition of the Grey Cup. I've covered over 20 of them in the past. A little envious, yes, of what goes on the Friday at Grey Cup, the greatest. It's Canada's Super Bowl. I've been telling all my American friends that's what it is. I think a lot of people will be watching. But the Legends Luncheon, it's the alumni event. Like every day at Super Bowl is like Legends Luncheon, but on the Friday at Grey Cup is when they bring them all together. This year, Winnipeg Convention Hall, and it is the highlight of the Canadian Football League Championship on a yearly basis. So, yeah, enjoy the game. Come next week, we'll be talking a heck of a lot of NFL plus college. Today, we didn't even get to college, which is fine because, again, everybody else is talking about it on all the other TV networks. That's why people like this show. It's a little different. And I should mention, coming up on Monday, Hall of Fame tight end Ray Elgard, who's now making his home in Las Vegas. The perennial winner of the Shenley Award is the most outstanding Canadian in Canadian Football League play through the 80s and 90s, will be with us. He just discovered our show this week on the Silver State Sports and Entertainment Network, sent me a text. He's like, what are you doing in my living room? With a photo of his TV. So I told you we're going to television in Las Vegas every day. He's coming on Monday to recap the Grey Cup, but also talk Vegas sports. He's a one-time season ticket holder of the Golden Knights and follows the Raiders as well. And we'll be teeing up a big Monday night clash of the Dallas Cowboys at the Las Vegas Raiders. So until then, have a great weekend, everybody. Be good to each other. I feel like I need to remind you of that. And most importantly, be good to yourself. And thanks for tuning in across Canada here and 32 U.S. states on the Game Plus Television Network and across Nevada on the Silver State Sports and Entertainment Network.
That.